You have unread texts from Golf Buds. Would you like me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny says, what are the nicotine pouches you had on the course? Walker says, 8 milligram on nicotine pouches. Billy says, I love the mint one.
I like that one.
Walker says, me too. By the way, you both stink at golf. LOLOL.
Come on. Carry on nicotine pouches. Shop now at onnicotine.com/group text. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
You know, lately I've been seeing something kind of strange going on online.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody suddenly decided to become like a digital archaeologist or something.
Okay.
And the artifact that everyone's digging for is, well, it's Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman? What really, I mean, what's going on? What's got everyone so interested in him all of a sudden?
Well, it's not just about revisiting all his classic movies, although, I mean, there's definitely a lot of that happening.
Right.
But it's more than that. You know what I mean? Like, it's more than just the usual, where are they now kind of curiosity. There's like this weird undercurrent of something else going on, something I can't quite put my finger on.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued now.
It's like we're all trying to piece together this puzzle, but we only have half the pieces or something.
So, what kind of puzzle pieces are we talking about here?
We're talking internet searches, little news snippets, even like those gossip sites, you know, the ones?
Yeah.
And here's the strange part. A lot of these searches, they're not about his iconic roles or anything like that.
Yeah, true.
They're about death.
Death. I mean, that's a little morbid, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, right? It's like Gene Hackman cause of death, Gene Hackman found dead, Gene Hackman obituary.
Wow.
And these searches, they're popping up everywhere. It's crazy. It's like the internet has decided to write his final chapter, even though there's zero evidence that he's actually, gone.
That is really interesting. I mean, why are we so, I don't know, so obsessed with these death rumors, especially about famous people?
I know, right?
I mean, think about it, when celebrity dies, it often feels like, I don't know, like a punch to the gut or something, even if you never actually even met the person.
Totally, yeah. It's like losing a friend you never really knew but felt like you did because of their work,
Exactly.
And maybe that's part of it, right? Like those parasocial relationships that we develop with these public figures. Yeah.
We invite them into our homes, basically, through the screen.
Right.
We experience all their ups and downs, their triumphs and their heartbreaks. And somewhere along the way, those lines get blurred,
Absolutely.
We start to feel like we really know them.
And then it's almost like we feel entitled to know everything about their lives, like even the details of their deaths.
Right. Like we need to complete the story, get that closure.
Yeah, even if it's all based on speculation.
But it's not just about death, right? There's also this whole thing about his disappearance.
Yeah.
I mean, he officially retired from acting way back in 2004.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So he's been out of the public eye for over 2 decades now.
Wow. And so that absence, that silence, it just fuels even more speculation, doesn't it?
Totally.
It's like we just can't resist trying to fill in those gaps, like what's he doing? Where is he? And I think most importantly, why did he decide to step away?
Exactly. And let's not forget about those sites like TMZ and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're notorious for pushing the boundaries of what's considered ethical when it comes to celebrity news.
Totally.
It's like they just love to blur the lines between fact and rumor. You know what I mean?
And that's where the internet can be such a double-edged sword.
Right.
I mean, on one hand, it gives us this incredible access to information, but it also makes it really easy for speculation to just morph into what everyone thinks is fact,
Totally. It's scary how quickly that can happen.
Like a rumor that starts in some, dark corner of the internet can suddenly become a headline on a major news site.
Yeah, and before you know it, everyone's convinced it's the absolute truth.
That's like like a really messed up game of telephone, but with, potentially serious consequences for the people involved.
And then there's that whole where are they now thing.
Right.
Which plays a huge role here because Gene Hackman officially retired from acting back in 2004. So he's a prime target for that kind of curiosity,
Right. Yeah. It's like his retirement created this vacuum and the internet just rushes in to fill it with, whatever it can find.
Exactly.
And it's not just about satisfying our curiosity about a beloved actor.
No.
This whole deep dive, it really reveals a lot about how we process information in this digital age, you know?
That's true.
Like how easily speculation turns into assumed fact, and how our own desires, for closure, for connection, how those shape the narratives we create online.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's pretty fascinating, actually.
So what are people actually searching for when it comes to Gene Hackman?
Right.
Like, what are those clues they're using to try to solve this mystery, so to speak?
Well, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
It's not just like Gene Hackman wife or Gene Hackman net worth.
Well, I'm sure those are pretty popular.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But people are digging deeper,
What?
Like, they're searching for things like Gene Hackman mummification. Yeah. And even Gene Hackman carbon monoxide poisoning.
Wow. Okay, that's getting pretty specific.
Right. It's like they're looking for anything that might explain his absence.
Yeah.
Even if those pieces of information are totally unrelated or, taken out of context.
Hold on a second. Mummification?
Yeah.
That seems like a bit of a leap, wouldn't you say? Like, what's the connection there?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say for sure, but it could be those internet algorithms, gone wild.
Those things.
The ones that, track your searches and then try to predict what you want to see next.
So maybe people are searching for stuff about Gene Hackman's life and then also clicking on, I don't know, articles about ancient Egypt or something.
Yeah.
And the algorithm just decides to connect those two.
Right. And then it's like the internet saying, oh, you're interested in someone who's vanished from the world.
Yeah.
Well, have you considered mummification?
Wow, that's pretty wild.
It really highlights how powerful, but also how potentially misleading those algorithms can be,
Yeah, I mean, it makes you think twice about just blindly trusting what you see online.
Totally.
But okay, even if the algorithm is making these bizarre connections, there still has to be something deeper going on here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why are people even entertaining these thoughts, even for a second?
I think it just shows how, I don't know, how much we as humans need to make sense of things, to find patterns, to create these stories.
Right, to find some kind of meaning in what seems like chaos.
Exactly. And death, especially the death of someone famous, it's like this ultimate mystery that we can't help but try to unravel,
It's like we're trying to create a narrative around his absence, even if it means weaving together these threads of speculation and totally unrelated information.
Exactly. It's like we're collectively building this digital myth around Gene Hackman,
Yeah, a myth that says way more about us than it does about him.
Exactly. Our anxieties, our fascinations, all that stuff.
But before we get too lost in this labyrinth of internet speculation,
right,
let's take a step back and consider the man behind the myth,
Yeah.
Gene Hackman, the actor, the artist, the man who captivated us for decades with his performances.
Absolutely.
And maybe, just maybe, if we try to understand his career choices, his decision to step away from it all, maybe then we'll get a better understanding of why he continues to hold such a powerful grip on our collective imagination,
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's like he's still such a mystery even after all these years.
And it's a mystery that clearly still fascinates us.
Absolutely.
And that, my friend, is where our deep dive truly begins.
Let's dive in. So we've been talking about how the internet just can't seem to let go of Gene Hackman.
Yeah, it's like this digital ghost hunt or something.
Totally. But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the man himself, where do we even begin to unpack a career as legendary as his?
That's a good question. I mean, he's done so much.
Right.
I think a good place to start would be his decision to walk away from acting.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, remember his last film was Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh, yeah, with Ray Romano.
Back in 2004, a comedy.
Yeah.
Not exactly the kind of grand finale you'd expect from an Oscar winner, right?
Right, not exactly Unforgiven or The French Connection, that's for sure. No, not quite.
What do you think drew him to that project? Especially as his swan song.
Well, that's an interesting question. I think it might say something about his willingness to try different things, different genres.
To challenge himself?
Exactly. Yeah, maybe he was I don't know, maybe he was just looking for something a little lighter, a chance to flex his comedic muscles after, decades of doing these really intense dramatic roles.
That's true, yeah. Or maybe he just saw something special in the script. Yeah, it could be. a story that he really connected with on a personal level.
Right. And I think it's a good reminder that even the most celebrated actors,
Wow.
they have careers that evolve.
Right.
They take these unexpected turns.
It's like we expect them to, I don't know, to stay frozen in time.
Yeah.
Forever playing the roles we loved them in.
Right. But they're real people, They
Yeah.
make choices, they grow, they change, and their lives, they extend way beyond the screen.
Absolutely. And sometimes those, those later chapters,
Yeah.
they can be just as interesting, maybe even more so
Yeah.
than those early, more celebrated ones.
I agree.
Think about the actors who transition into directing.
Right. Or writing.
Exactly. Or they take on roles that totally challenge their established image.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that evolution.
Yeah, it's a testament to their creativity, their willingness to push those boundaries.
So maybe Welcome to Mooseport wasn't exactly a critical darling,
Right.
but it still represents this chapter in his life that we shouldn't just, dismiss.
Yeah, I agree.
It might hold some clues to understanding his evolution as an artist, and maybe even his decision to step away from the spotlight.
Possibly, yeah. And speaking of stepping away from the spotlight,
Yeah.
our sources also show a lot of
You have unread texts from Golf Buds. Would you like me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny says, what are the nicotine pouches you had on the course? Walker says, 8 milligram on nicotine pouches. Billy says, I love the mint one.
I like that one.
Walker says, me too. By the way, you both stink at golf. LOLOL.
Come on. Carry on nicotine pouches. Shop now at onnicotine.com/group text. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
a lot of curiosity about Gene Hackman's personal life.
Oh, yeah. What kind of stuff?
Like people are searching for Gene Hackman's wife, Gene Hackman's children, even Gene Hackman's dog.
Wow. Okay, that's getting pretty deep into the personal stuff.
It is, yeah. It's like they're trying to find him, not just in his, in his films,
Right.
but in, I don't know, like in the fabric of his everyday life.
It makes you wonder, is it just harmless curiosity? Or is it, I don't know, is it crossing a line to try to pry into the private life of someone who's clearly chosen to, stay out of the spotlight?
That's a good question. It's a tricky balance, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, we want to respect their privacy.
Of course.
But on the other hand, I mean, we're curious creatures, right?
Totally.
We crave information, especially about those we admire or we're intrigued by.
And the internet has definitely made it a lot easier to access that information, whether it's publicly shared or not.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the double-edged sword of the digital age.
Yeah, we have this incredible access to information, but it also comes with the responsibility to be discerning, to question the sources, and to really think about the ethical implications of our insatiable need to know everything.
And maybe that's part of what makes this whole Gene Hackman thing so fascinating.
Yeah.
It forces us to really confront our own relationship with fame, with privacy, with the power of the internet to shape how we see the world.
That's true.
It's pretty thought-provoking, actually.
So we've talked about his career, his personal life, and the internet's obsession with where he is now. But
Yeah.
there's this one more element that keeps popping up in our digital digging.
Okay, what's that?
Location, specifically Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Ah, Santa Fe. Yeah, it's like the city itself has become part of the whole Gene Hackman myth.
Right.
It's known for its its artistic community.
Yeah, the laid back vibe, the connection to nature.
Exactly. It all feeds into this image we have of him as this private kind of enigmatic figure.
Yeah, the guy who chose to step away from all the craziness of Hollywood.
Right. It's like Santa Fe has become this symbolic landscape, a place where he can, I don't know, like he can exist outside of the public eye.
It's like we're projecting our own desires for peace and simplicity onto him and onto the place he calls home.
Yeah, maybe we're just creating a fantasy,
Right. Is this peaceful, reclusive artist in Santa Fe just a figment of our collective imagination?
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
We can analyze the internet searches. We can speculate about his motives.
Right.
But ultimately, Gene Hackman's truth is his own.
And maybe that's the point of all this, you know? Maybe it's not really about finding Gene Hackman at all.
Maybe it's about us.
Exactly, about our need to create these narratives.
To try to make sense of the world.
To find meaning in the lives of others, even if it's all just, speculation.
It is a fascinating thought, and it makes you wonder what would happen if he just suddenly reappeared.
Right, like what would our reaction be?
Yeah, would we welcome him back with open arms, or would we feel I don't know, like betrayed or something?
Messed up the story we'd created in our mind.
That he disrupted the narrative we'd so carefully constructed around his absence.
Yeah, it's almost like we've collectively decided that that Gene Hackman's story is over, even though he's obviously still alive.
Right, we've written the ending, and any deviation from that script would be,
yeah,
I don't know, unsettling.
It's weird, right?
It's like we prefer the mystery to the actual reality.
The unknown lets us fill in the blanks with our own fantasies,
Exactly. Maybe it's just easier to imagine him living this peaceful, idyllic life in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Than to confront the possibility that that aging and retirement and even death might look different than we'd like to believe.
It's a fascinating psychological thing, isn't it?
It really is.
This need to control the narrative, to impose our own expectations onto someone else's life, especially someone we admire or feel connected to.
It's like we've created this I don't know, like this digital shrine to Gene Hackman, filled with all our hopes, our memories, our anxieties about getting older and about mortality.
And maybe in a way, it's like a form of tribute, you know?
Yeah, it could be a way of keeping his legacy alive, even if it's based on speculation and projection.
But it also highlights the responsibility we have as consumers of information, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this age of, social media and viral trends. It's so easy to get swept up in the excitement of it all, to just accept what we see online as the absolute truth without questioning where it came from or thinking about the implications.
So what's the takeaway here?
I mean, should we all just stop Googling Gene Hackman and just let the man, live his life in peace?
Well, I think that's a great place to start.
Okay.
I mean, we can still appreciate his work, revisit his films, and celebrate his legacy without feeling the need to intrude on his privacy or speculate about his current life.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to go down those rabbit holes, when you start digging around online.
It's true. It happens to the best of us.
But as we've seen with this whole Gene Hackman thing, curiosity can sometimes, I don't know, it can lead us to some pretty weird places.
Absolutely. You start connecting these dots that might not even be there,
Right, and all of a sudden you've got this whole new narrative, this story that maybe doesn't have anything to do with reality.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in the speculation, the rumors.
So how do we balance that curiosity, that natural human curiosity, with a healthy dose of skepticism,
That's a good question.
How do we avoid getting swept up in all the hype and the internet's tendency to turn everything into a mystery or a conspiracy or some kind of viral trend?
It starts with with being aware of the information we're consuming.
Right, like where is it coming from?
Exactly. Yeah, is it a reputable source?
Yeah.
What's the motivation behind this information?
Yeah, and maybe just as important, what are our own motivations, right?
That's a good point.
Like, why are we even looking for this information in the first place?
Yeah, are we trying to find the truth, or are we just looking for something to, I don't know, like to confirm what we already believe, or just to entertain ourselves?
Exactly. And I think it's also important to remember that, there's a real person at the center of all this.
Right, a human being.
Gene Hackman, the man, the actor, the artist.
He deserves the same respect and privacy that we'd give anyone else.
Right, regardless of whether they're, famous or not.
Absolutely.
It's easy to forget that sometimes,
Yeah, the internet can dehumanize people.
Totally. It turns them into I don't know, like characters in a story that we're controlling.
Yeah, and we forget that they have, lives, families, feelings.
They're just like us.
Exactly.
And it's so easy to get caught up in the, the excitement of a digital mystery.
Right.
But we have to remember that what we say and do online, it can have real-world consequences. Spreading rumors or invading someone's privacy, that can cause real harm.
Even if it's not intentional.
So, I mean, should we just all agree to stop Googling Gene Hackman?
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I think a good place to start is just, being more mindful.
Right. More respectful.
Yeah, we can still, we can still enjoy his work, watch his movies, celebrate his incredible legacy.
Yeah.
Without feeling like we need to pry into his personal life or, speculate about what he's doing now.
And maybe that's the most important lesson we can take away from all this. Sometimes the best ending to a story is the one that leaves some questions unanswered.
The one that lets the mystery linger,
Yeah, lets the imagination run wild.
And allows the person at the heart of it all to just exist in peace.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on. We covered a lot of ground today. We explored the strange and sometimes confusing world of internet searches. Talked about the allure of celebrity mysteries, and really emphasized the importance of balancing our natural curiosity with respect for people's privacy.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
It really has.
And who knows? Maybe someday Gene Hackman will he'll decide to reappear. On his own terms and tell his own story.
And we'll be here for it.
Absolutely.
But until then, we'll just have to let the legend live on in all its glorious mystery.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into, I guess you could call it the digital psyche.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll be back next time with another intriguing topic and a whole new mountain of internet data to sift through.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep those internet searches thoughtful.
Words to live by.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.